Coming to the deployment method, so when we talk about cloud, right, there are certain deployment methods which are available, okay, according to business needs. So first is a public cloud offering, right? It's the most popular form of cloud and many times referred as a multi-tenant. So multi-tenant, what I mean is you have a same data center for all the subscribers, right? But it has a capability to distinguish, right, in the traffic and data, and it segregate according to the customer or the subscriber, right? So it has a capability, it can distinguish what data is meant for which customer, which traffic belong to which customer, based on some policies, right? So the easiest example could be kind of a VLAN. On the network level, we can put a VLAN, right? So, and it can segregate according to customers. Resources are dynamically provisioned on a fine-grained self-service basis. So we have like portal kind of a stuff nowadays, right? You can self-provision whatever you want over the internet, web services, right? From an off-site third-party provider who share resources and bill on a fine-grained utility computing basis, you pay for what you use, right? So you can increase your subscription. If you want more resources, you can just place a request within half an hour or 1 hour. You'll get your request would be filled with, and you are just paying whatever you use, right? So there will be a extensive reporting which is available to the subscriber. He can see the trend, how he is using the services, right? And it's only charge what he uses. Example of public cloud could be your Windows Azure. Windows Azure Services Platform, or if I talk about any other Microsoft services, then it's Office 360. So these are like offering from Microsoft. Then we have a Google App Engine. It's another public cloud offering. IBM has a Blue Cloud, and then we have Amazon EC2. So these are the few examples of public cloud which user or companies can subscribe to. So let's move how it looks, right? So if I talk about public cloud, how the setup look like. So I have a subscriber facility. It's an organization facility, right? You have a client accessing the public cloud from within the security perimeter. So security perimeter is nothing but it's a security boundary within the organization. Okay, and boundary controllers are actually a firewalls, or if you are using a VPN, then it's a VPN. Otherwise, it's mostly a firewall, which is termed as a boundary controller. So this is company's facility, which is subscriber in this case. Then I have a public cloud. Okay. So if I see here, if it's a public cloud offering, right, you don't need to, or the customer doesn't need to worry about the hardware, software, okay, how the access will be given. So if you see here, right, clients are accessing the public cloud from outside. Since it's a multi-tenant, you can see the other organizations are also accessing, right? Other users are also accessing the same cloud, right? If hardware is obsolete, hardware can be replaced, right? You can see the new hardware here. Then all or defective hardware can be removed. Okay, client terminating access, right? If you are just calling off the subscription services, or you don't want to use services further, right? Those can be terminated by a public cloud service provider. So if I see this, the communication channel, right? So this is a communication channel. So this is my organization. They are connecting to the public cloud, okay, and they are connecting to one of the services which is provided, right? And the same services or servers are accessed by the other users also. And all the stuff, all the services or facilities or hardwares or softwares, whether it's upgrade or removing old hardware, putting new hardware, right? All those things are actually managed by the public cloud provider. So customer doesn't need to worry about anything. Just pay what you use and you can just start. Coming to the second form of deployment model, which is a private cloud. So it's an implementation of cloud services on resources that are actually dedicated to your organization, right? Those are meant only for your organization, whether they exist in your own premises or off premises, right? A private cloud share many of the characteristics of public cloud computing. So these characteristics could be flexibility, scalability, right? So those are actually common with all the cloud scenarios, right? Including resource pooling, self-service, elasticity, pay by use, delivered in a standardized manner with the additional control and customization available from dedicated resources. So when I talk about private cloud, right, it can be on premises or it can be off premises, right? Okay, but the resources are actually blocked dedicatedly for a specific business or for a specific organization, right? Example of private cloud could be your Microsoft ECI data centers, which is called as Microsoft Enrollment for Core Infrastructure. Ecliptus is another form of private cloud or another form of private cloud offering. Ubuntu Enterprise Cloud is another form which is offered, powered by Ecliptus. Amazon has offering as VPC. Another player which is in private cloud is VMware Cloud Infrastructure Suite. They offer VMware Cloud Infrastructure Suite. So if I see using some diagrams, right, how the private cloud look like. So as I said, there are two models which can be on premises and another which can be off premises. So if I talk about on premises private cloud, right, so that private cloud actually looks like similar to this diagram. And it's, as I said, it's a on premises. On-site private cloud. Okay, so outsides are not allowed. So if you see here, outside access is blocked. Okay. Resources and the users or the subscriber who are consuming those resources are within the security boundary or the security parameter, right? And this data center or a private cloud is actually located within the premises of your business, right? So when you have to choose whether you need to go with a private cloud or with a public cloud, or you want to go with a hybrid cloud, right? You have to give a very serious thought, right? What the business required, right? How much data you want to put on public, how much data you want to keep it in your own premises, right? So these are the few areas you need to think, right, before you subscribe for any kind of a computing or the cloud computing. So in this case, data center is actually, or the private cloud is actually set up within the premises of the consumer or the subscriber, or in other words, business. The second format which we have in private cloud is off premises. So let me just give that to you. Okay, so we have one segment which is again, it's organization. Then I have one more part which is actually a cloud offering, which is actually located at the service provider end. So this is, on left hand side, this is my own premises. On right hand side, this is the provider facilities, or you can say the person who is, or the company who is providing a private cloud services. Okay, and let me show you how the connection. So this is your private cloud. So as I said, if I talk about private cloud, you have a separate resources, right, dedicated or which is privately available only to your business, right? Those are dedicated to your business. And those two locations or two your premises and the provider premises are actually connected over internet using a boundary controller. So as I said, boundary control is nothing but sort of some security measures. So in this case could be a firewall. Okay, and these two locations are connected. Users within the organization will access private cloud resources dedicated for their company over the internet, right? This is the subscriber facility, as I said. And the right hand side is your cloud service provider facilities. And this format is your outsourced private cloud. So these are two offerings which are available when we talk about private cloud. Then coming to the third form of deployment model, which is community. This model, I would say, it's not very popular, right? A community cloud refers to cloud computing environment shared and managed by different organizations that have same or the similar requirements and are sharing the infrastructure in order to realize some of the benefits of cloud computing. Okay, so these can be, this kind of a deployment can be within two organizations which are into similar kind of a requirement, right? An example could be Microsoft Government Community Cloud, or Google has Google App for Government. So these two could be example of community cloud, right? So if I see in a diagram format, right, how the community cloud looks like, right? So I have an organization A, I have an organization B, I have an organization C, right? And we have a local cloud. Okay, and all organizations have their own security boundaries. They have boundary controllers or their own respective firewalls. Okay, clients are accessing remote resources. Okay, and they have their own security boundaries, as I said, right? On the other hand, on right hand side, you can see I have one more organization X. I have one more organization Y. I have one more organization which is Z, right? They have their own set of users who are accessing resources. They follow their own security boundaries within the organization. Okay. And then these two communities or organizations have the same interest, can connect, right? And they can use a cloud services. So this is how the two community cloud can be created, and it's an on-site community cloud. Okay, so this is the local cloud which is available on the right hand side, and organization X, Y, Z, they are actually accessing the cloud services here. There is one another form for cloud computing. So on right hand side you can see cloud provider facility. Okay. Then again we have organization X, organization Y, organization Z. Then they have their own security boundaries. Client accessing the community cloud from within their security parameters. And this is community organization consuming cloud resources. Right? So these communities have a similar interest, or they could be like similar businesses also. Right? They have a boundary controller of their own, and they connect with the cloud provider facility. So if I just click on this, you can see organization X, Y, Z, they are consuming resources, right, through firewalls from the cloud provider facilities. And again, since it's a dedicated resources for the communities X, Y, Z, other organization or businesses, they have a blocked access. So you can see this red marks is actually nothing but it's blocking access to other businesses, right? So residing in the same facility or cloud computer facility, provider facilities, sorry. And they consume organization XYZ, they consume the services. So this is termed as outsourced community cloud. Then the fourth kind of a deployment model is called as a hybrid. So what is hybrid? A hybrid cloud is an environment where in an organization provides and manages some resources in-house and has others provided externally. So it's nothing, it's but a combination of different deployment models available. So it can be you have a private cloud and then you subscribe some services from public cloud. So you are consuming both kind of cloud services. You have private, you have a public, and then you are using the resource, right? So as I said, right, previously also. So before moving to cloud, right, so companies need to give a very serious thought, right? What is their needs? What data they want to put on public cloud, right? What data they want in-house? So they have to analyze all these things and then opt for a right deployment model. So if I give an example, organization might use a public cloud service for archive data, but continue to maintain in-house storage for operational customer data, right? So this could be one of the examples. Hybrid approach allow a business to take advantage of scalability and cost effectiveness that public cloud computing. So if I see in diagram like how the hybrid cloud looks like. So you can see on left hand side on top, right, I have on-site private cloud. So I have my own on-site private cloud, right? I have outsourced private cloud also, I'm consuming that. Then some on-site community clouds are also there. Outsourced community clouds are there. And then public cloud offering is also there, right? And these are actually communicating with each other, right? So this is how they connect. So it can be in other way around also. So they can communicate with one or two kind of a cloud, or they can talk to each other, right? So such kind of a setup, right? And that is called a hybrid cloud. This is hybrid cloud. So if I do a quick comparison, right, between the deployment models available today, so there are like certain criteria wherein you can compare. So infrastructure managed by, infrastructure owned by, infrastructure located, accessible and consumed by. On extreme left, I have a kind of a model. If I talk about public model, right? Public model infrastructure is managed by third-party provider. Okay, so third-party provider is nothing but a person or a company who is providing a cloud service. Infrastructure owned by third-party provider. So the entire infrastructure, facility, space, right? All the IT resources, right? Those are actually owned by the cloud service provider. Infrastructure located off premises. So if you are opting for a public cloud, right, all the data or whatever services you are accessing, those are offshore or off premises. Accessible and consumed by untrusted. So if I talk about this trusted and untrusted, I have put a small star here. So if I talk about trusted consumers are those who are considered part of an organization legal contractual policy umbrella, including employees or contractors and business partners. And the untrusted are those who may be authorized to consume am I audible now? Because I'm getting a message. Voice says disconnect.
You are audible.
Oh, okay, great, thanks. Okay, so as I said, trusted and untrusted, I've marked it as a star. So untrusted consumer are those and that may be authorized to consume some or all services but are not logical extension to the organization. So this would be the points you need to consider when I talk about untrusted and trusted. If I talk about private or the community, right, kind of a deployment model. So in this kind of a scenario, infrastructure is managed by organization or third-party provider, right? So if it's a private, it can be in-house, right? It can be managed by the organization itself. Or if it's a outsourced, then the third party would be the owner. Infrastructure owned by organization or third-party provider. Infrastructure located, so if it's a on-premises private, so it would be in your own premises or business own premises. And if it's outsourced, then it's off-premises. Accessible and consumed by trusted. So only the people who are within the security parameters, and those can access the resource. Hybrid, both organization and third-party provider. As I said, hybrid is a combination of different deployment models, right? So it can be both organization, third-party provider, managed by. Infrastructure owned by, it can be owned by both organization and third-party provider. Infrastructure, it can be on-premises or off-premises. That option is there. And then accessible and consumed by, since it's a combination of different cloud computing deployment models, it is trusted and trusted both. So it's consumed and accessed by trusted as well as untrusted consumers. So this was a quick comparison.